Okay, now we will talk a bit about the ungodly, demonic, worldly, sensual practice of dating. Just so the title is clear, just so you know where I'm coming from. It would be proper to put another word, attach it on to dating. Recreational. Recreational dating. It sounds trite because it is, but that's what it is. Recreational dating. That's basically what goes on, not in the world, but in Christian spheres. Recreational dating. Dating for the fun of it. Getting into some kind of relationship just because you think you would like it. When young Christians or whatever in the church, so I hear, someone's dating or something, I'll walk up to the young guy, let's say he's 16, and I find out, or the girl is 16 and there's this big class ring on her finger or something, and I walk over there and I go, hey, what's that? Well, I'm going steady. Well, congratulations, when are you going to get married? What? I go, yeah, when's the date? Oh, I'm not going to get married. Then what are you doing? Well, I'm with him. Why? Because I want to be. And? Conversation usually ends by them storming off. Let's look at some things. Some of them will make you very mad. Let's look at some things. Statistically, we understand that most Christians, I have to put parentheses around that because most who are called Christians are not, in a culture that considers itself Christian. Most Christians, those who identify themselves with a visible church, have had 5 serious relationships prior to being married. 5 relationships serious with someone of the opposite sex. Now, let's say that physical sex is not even involved. The way we are made when we cleave to someone of the opposite sex, although I'm not going to sit here and say that you become one with every person you date, there is still the principle there of a cleaving and a uniting whenever 2 people of the opposite sex come together in some relationship that has the hint of romantic to it, hint of companionship to it. There is a binding, a meshing, a melding in a way, a welding. And so what happens? You get to your marriage one day, and you're not whole. Because you've already given part of you to 5 different people. And on your marriage night, you're not alone. Those 5 people come with you, whether you realize it or not. And whether you realize it or not, it will affect the way you look at your wife and the way you look at your husband. It will affect everything about your marriage more than you would dare to believe. And it was never God's intention. Nor has it ever been the practice of even secular culture. The first thing you need to realize is that dating is a modern phenomenon. I mean, you go back 150 years, forget it. You can't even find it. So we've got thousands of years of human history with absolutely no evidence of such a practice. We come to present day, we wonder why marriages have gone to seed. We wonder why there's immorality rampant everywhere, including what's called Christendom in America. And maybe we ought to just put two and two together. The last 100 years, things have gotten a lot worse. In the last 100 years, dating has become prominent. Something to think about. Something to think about. Now, let's just look at the other extreme of dating, okay, for a moment. Let's look at the other extreme. A father goes out. He picks a husband for his daughter, brings him home, and she's got to marry him. She doesn't have a choice. Now, is that biblical? Is that right? No. But let's just look at it for a moment. Let's look at the two extremes. The one extreme is got a 16-year-old daughter at home. Father goes out, finds a husband for her, brings him home. She's got to marry him. She's got no choice. Over on this side, we've got just the opposite. 16-year-old daughter goes out, decides who she's going to marry or be with, brings him home, and the father's got no choice. Now let's look at something for a moment. The father, let's say this is just a normal family. I mean, he's a good guy, loves his daughter more than you could possibly imagine. When you have children one day, I know you're going to hate hearing this. I cannot even begin to describe how I love my sons. I can't even put it in my own words how much I love them. And how I would die 1,000 deaths for them. And how it goes beyond what language can tell. Now let's just imagine for a moment. We got a father here who's a normal father, loves his daughter that much. Now let's say this man is about 50. Alright? Listen, guys, girls. If you're anything like I was, you're as dumb as a rock. You really don't know what you think you know. I know you don't want to hear that, but you really don't know what you think you know. You really don't. And what you know has not come from good tutors. It's come from others just like you. And the media. And everything else. You don't know. One of the greatest verses in the Bible for homeschooling is this. That you should not be a companion of fools. You send your child to school, he's going to become a companion of fools. The greatest influence in his life are going to be other foolish children just like him. Where did you learn about all the things you know about romance and sex? From whom did you learn it? The Bible? Or television and friends and other things? All wrong. So we got a father here who's 50 years old. He's been around several times. He can see through a snake in a second. He loves his daughter more than life. He goes out. Look what he's looking for. He's going to pass by 1 million little boys pretending to be men who know nothing about loving a woman. And he's going to at least try to find somebody out there with some sort of integrity and strength. 16-year-old girl goes out. Carried away by youthful lust, by sensuality, by silliness, by foolishness, by ignorance, by her heart, which is deceitfully wicked, and brings home someone that Dad has to accept. Now, if we had to choose one of these extremes, which one would you rather choose?